Good evening, everybody. Coming to you live from Virginia. We're at the Natural Tunnel State Park. We just finished having a lovely afternoon here. We decided to hike to the Natural Tunnel, which there's actually a railroad that goes through it, so that was pretty cool. Had some sandwiches, enjoyed some peace and quiet, and the bird sound. And now we're on the way to our home base for the night, which is Staunton, Virginia.
Stanton.
I never can remember how to pronounce it.
Spelled like that, but it's pronounced the other way.
Say it again.
Stanton.
Oh, that's so cool.
This is the railroad that goes up through the Natural Tunnel. This is on the north side. Oh, we got traffic. I can't stop for you.
I got some pictures.
Got traffic already.
Service may be in and out, so apologies if it cuts in and out. The colors are very pretty here in Virginia, just like they were yesterday in Tennessee.
That's Route 650 going to the right. Just to give you some feedback on your navigation.
Yep, I see that.
Virginia's pretty good about marking its secondary routes, but they're often very small signs. You got to have an eye for them. They don't jump out at you. In rush hour traffic here in very southwestern Virginia. Very close to the boundary of Kentucky and Tennessee.
Yeah, it's almost a tri-boundary.
I think it actually is. There is a point somewhere where all three meet.
We'll be making a right-hand turn soon. Looking for 653.
Very good. Kudzu is really infested a lot of places here. Along the left here, it's really bad.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It eats up the trees. It was even eating telephone poles.
Is this our turn?
Yep.
653.
Oh wow, you're not kidding about the signs being tiny.
They're tiny, but they're well marked.
I wasn't expecting them to be that tiny.
Oh, I thought you knew that. You've been in Virginia many times.
I guess it's just being a long road trip, I guess.
Just not paying attention to that.
John says, good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, John. We ended up spending much of today at the Natural Tunnel State Park. We got some sandwiches, got to talk to a really awesome local ranger who grew up here. So that was a really cool experience, and she gave us a personal recommendation to hike to see the tunnel from the natural entrance without having to do a quarter-mile steep slopes, which I am very thankful for. Because I don't know if my knees would have been up for it. The lady at Subway said it was going to be really, really rough on the knees going back up, so going down, not so much. So we had a nice, fairly flat walk to the tunnel. We actually had to cross the creek, which there's stepping stones for, so that was fun. And then a little crossing for drainage. So it was really neat. John says he's driving on 422, so he can't type, but I'm with you all. Sounds good, John. Watch out for those crazy drivers. As you know, Thursday is the new Friday in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Rush hour here in Southwest Virginia is a little bit slower. Although I did have one guy that was behind me who wanted to go a lot faster. Trying to find our way north and east. Try to enjoy some country driving till sunset. Our path may actually take us through a little bit of West Virginia. In the visitor center at Natural Tunnel State Park, they had a nice collection of exhibits about the history.
Yeah, that was really neat.
The one was talking about how some people decided to settle in the area and described it as eking out a living. I've heard that expression about eking out a living, but I don't know if I've ever seen it. But it's actually written like that.
I must have missed that one because I don't remember reading it.
Well, it could have been in the brochure. Now that I'm thinking about it, because there's a lot of information in the park brochure too.
I was fascinated by the fossils that you can see in the riverbeds.
Gwenny likes fossils.
Yeah, always wanted to be a paleontologist. Always liked dinosaurs. Just the history of it all is just fascinating. Geology, rocks, just really neat.
I wonder how much of that was. Were you already interested in fossils by the time you got to high school? Because I know during high school we went to Louisville for field hockey games the one year, and we went to the Falls of Ohio, and there's all kinds of fossils that you can see in the rock.
Yeah, I was interested before that. I think it really all started with a dinosaur book a friend of ours gave us when I was a kid. It talked about dinosaurs and all the different periods that they lived in and showed fossils, and it was really fascinating. So it all started because of a book. So.
A lot of good ideas in books. Probably inspired a lot of people.
I was a little bummed they didn't have any bookmarks at the gift shop, but I got some postcards that'll do.
Yeah, I was talking to the lady in the shop there. She said, that's a good idea. I should mention that.
Look at this horse. He has a black head. He's all white, but his head's black. And a little bit of his tail.
The reason we need so many bookmarks is not because Gwenny actually needs them, but I actually need them because she'll say, oh, you should read this book. And then I'll start reading the book. And I'll get to maybe the 50th page or so.
And I'm like, you gotta start reading this one.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta read this book. It's like, oh, okay. Trail of bookmarks behind in your books. There's your...
For a certain type of book than others. Because some of it can be rather heavy. They look kind of like church pews outside, so that explains it.
Yeah.
This is cool. It's shady. That's one thing I noticed when we got to the natural tunnel. It was at least 10 degrees cooler.
Yeah, they talked about that. On the hike that we took, we come in from upstream, which is the more northerly side. And as you approach the natural tunnel, there's really high cliffs, and it creates a microclimate. And we really noticed the drop in the temperature, and also the path got slippery. The stones were wet.
Yeah, the stones were wet. There was more moss, different types of moss, ferns. You definitely noticed a difference in the plants. We did see a blue, or at least I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it, a blue, I'm guessing it was a crayfish. It looked like a baby lobster at first, but I'm guessing it's a crayfish.
I saw it from behind you when you were looking at it. 652 to the right. We're still going 653?
Correct.
Eventually you want to find 649, correct? Or is it 722?
You said you wanted to do 722 to 649 to 65.
Okay.
But yeah, it had like a blue shell and like orange, a little bit of orange on his claws. But he didn't come back out. I was bummed. I got 2 pictures, and the one you can kind of see him in, and the other one he just moved too fast. Like the reflections in the water, because it was pretty clear, it was reflecting the sky a lot, so it was hard to see.
725 to the right,
So we go to the right.
653 to the right, to the left rather.
It's been another beautiful day. It's been in the 70s, I think, for the most part. 69 degrees right now. It's a great day for a picnic.
Yeah, it really was.
That's why I suggested. I was like, eating this at the park, it's not actually be an awesome idea, because I'm sure they have picnic tables, and they did.
Nice pavement through here too. Looks freshly paved.
It does. There's no lines. Next 2 miles, 15-mile-an-hour squiggles. Oh boy. This looks like it got logged on the left. Old tree stumps.
The rail line that goes through the natural tunnel is still used. A lot of coal, apparently. That's one of the main products it ships by rail through here. Evil coal. But you got to power your electric car with something. You just hook that up to a generator.
Yeah.
And that's how you charge your electric car.
Somehow I don't think Americans are going to want